this content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill no one.
Wait a second.
Oh, no.
When we return to our planet, the High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies, we like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings! You're watching SeptumSin versus the world. I'm SeptumSin. This is Kotobuki Jake.
Hey.
Wait, that way. And we're here to show you what they got.
Yeah.
So we got some fun stuff today. Of course, no Gundam.
Of course.
But here's a couple things that you might like.
Jeannie, Jeannie again, she is all that I want, Jeannie. Oh, Jeannie, Jeannie again, she is all that I want, Jeannie. I never knuckled under, I just gave up. All I have now are memories in my empty cup. She wasn't like Mary, she listened to my thoughts. She wasn't like Wendy, who was looking for a dad for her son Johnny. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, Jeannie, Jeannie again, she is all that I want, Jeannie. Oh, Jeannie, Jeannie again, she is all that I want, Jeannie. She wasn't like Zoe, she always called me back. She wasn't like Kathy, I wasn't the only one she had. Oh, Jeannie, come back to me, I want you in my life again. Oh, Jeannie, I want you back in my life again. Solo. Jeannie, Jeannie again, she is all that I want, Jeannie. Oh, Jeannie, Jeannie again, she is all that I want, Jeannie.
well, we got some cool stuff. So I'm going to move us out of the full screen here. Attach this so you're able to see it. And away we go. So,
Away.
as many of you might know, of course, if there are those of you who are not familiar, we do try to rate a handful of ones that we have an interest in. So, of course, you have your top tier and your bottom tier that we both have to agree on, which is your priority, which means we want to get them as soon as possible. You know, price be damned. Willing to wait, with an exception of willing to wait to see if it can go down, but we're not going to let that bad boy go out of print if we can help it. Yes, please, we want it, but we're willing to take that chance of it going away. Curious, you know, it's something that we have a mild interest in. Definitely, if we see it come up for a deal, we might be encouraged to buy it on impulse. Meh. Well, not really of all that much of interest, but hey, if it was given to us or we find it exceptionally cheap, maybe. Hell no. Never. Not even for free. Nope. Alright, so you're going to be starting us off. We got quite a bit to cover, and you've got twice as many items of interest as I do. Though some of your items do coincide with mine.
Right. And vice versa.
So here we go.
And one that we're starting with seems like it would be one of those. This is called Buried Alive. It's a film from 1990, I want to say, or thereabouts. The co-stars Jennifer Jason Leigh and Tim Matheson. But notably, it's directed by Frank Darabont, director of Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, The Majestic, The Mist, early Walking Dead. So that intrigues me. And the fact that it has Jennifer Jason Leigh and William Atherton also intrigues me. It's doesn't seem extraordinary. It's basically about a cheating couple with some, quote, grave consequences that lead to a heart-pounding conclusion. You know, wait, teleplay. Is this a TV movie? No, whatever. But it's a Kino Lorber release. It does have pretty cool cover art. I don't know. I think it looks like it could be interesting. It's not one I'll rush out to get, but I'm certainly curious.
Yeah, I can go with curious.
And next up, since apparently we're doing 2 and then 1 and 2 and then 1.
Well, I mean, it's better than me doing that and then you having like
Exactly.
8 more at the end.
We have Chain Chronicle, The Light of I don't know, The Light of Hesitas, maybe? Essentials release. This is a Funimation release in their glorious Essentials line. Humans, fairies, and other mythical creatures live in peace on the continent of Igdara until the Black Army appears. To protect their home, the citizens of Igdara join forces to form a volunteer army. They suffer defeat until they don't. Well, until they meet a powerful boy. I don't know. It looks fun. Looks interesting. Looks like the kind of show I'd probably give a miss. But if I got it cheap enough, I'd pick it up. But I just have to make fun of Essentials, so there we go. I would rate it still as a low curious.
Yeah, until I've seen something. Unless it really turns me off, I would say that as well. Alright, so Bang Dream Film Live Blu-ray. Now, both of us could have covered this. I don't know. Have you watched Bang Dream yet?
No, but I want to.
And I've got. I mean, I think we both have this series.
I have the first season. I don't think I've gotten the second one yet.
I'd have to look. I think it's somewhere up here. I don't know. It's in the collection somewhere. So, yeah, this is, I guess, that follow-up, the big concert that they're trying to work their way up to in the series. It's another one of those kind of girls joining a band type deal. Looks fun, looks entertaining, willing to check it out eventually. Because I have the other two, I think one or two, I can't remember which ones I have of it, but I have at least the first season. I'm gonna have to eventually get it to add to my collection, so it would be a yes please for me. I don't know about you though.
Right. I'm gonna give this a yes please. I love me some, cute girl band series. I am very curious about this one. I have very little hope that it'll be as good as, say, K-On!, but it's probably worth having, if nothing else. So we'll go with that.
It would have gotten a lot more notice, I think, otherwise, if it was.
Right. Well, then again, there's quite a few more of them right now. K-On! Was kind of K-On! And Love Live were like the trailblazers that now everyone wants to be them.
There are imitators, but there is only one original.
Right.
There you go.
Well, I guess if you really wanted the original girl band one, you got to go to Nana, but yeah. That's a little way back. But anyway, so next up we have Epicentro, which is from an Oscar-nominated documentarian, Hubert Salper, and it's about Cuba. I don't really know too much on the specifics of this, as that it is essentially just an idea of trying to get caught up in life in Cuba and how people are, how things are going. The myths versus reality of historic events and et cetera, et cetera. You get the idea. It's a documentary about Cuba. It sounds interesting. Sounds like something I'd be worth seeing. I'm not going to rush out to get it, but I'm definitely curious.
Okay, let me get over here. So curious. Yeah, I don't see any reason for moving it at that point. Looks artsy enough.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
And then next up, we have one that will bring a little more familiarity all around. We have, I believe, both a regular and limited edition release of from Funimation of Fruits Basket Season 2 Part 1. Now, of course, anyone who has any anime familiarity, any interest in good or classic anime knows the 2002 Fruits Basket release. And I think for many, many years, people have said, why did you end the story in the middle? Or not even the middle. And now they're making an attempt to tell the whole story. And they're up to Season 2. Do you know where this is, story-wise?
No clue. I've watched the first handful episodes of the series, but I haven't followed up. And the buying format of it has kind of turned me off of it for now.
The what format?
The format that they're releasing it in is kind of because they're releasing it in the 2-part things, and so far there's no hint of a full season set for this yet.
Well, they are doing these nice limited edition sets that you're supposed to be able to slip one half into the other, but still, it's BS. They should just do a limited edition set for each season. But this is one I really, really want. I want to see. I want to have. It is a very definite yes, please.
Yeah, it's a yes, please. I'm willing to wait until they do full season releases.
Right. If this was another vendor, I'd probably go priority, but it's freaking Funimation. Viz would probably do the same thing.
And I've had people in the anime community who have purchased the first season special edition, And they say that it was very cheaply put together. So
How was it?
yeah, it
Well,
doesn't look
that's
as cheap
silly.
in the pictures as it apparently is. You can kind of see a basic picture of this. And yeah, it's on my list to eventually get, which would be a yes please. So if they release these down to like maybe 20 apart, I might think about getting them in that format, but otherwise, I mean, I'm not paying 60 or more for a season. But I'm gonna keep my eye out. I don't remember. I know if this was Funimation, I'd be guaranteed that they'd be releasing it as a full season eventually.
Oh, it's Funimation.
Is it Fun? Okay, so it is. So they are
Yeah,
going
it's
to eventually
Funimation.
release it. I don't know why I thought it was Viz. Yeah, Funimation will eventually release this as a full season. It's just a matter of waiting. Maybe by the maybe season 1 will be out by anime sale next year.
Pretty sure Funimation was behind the original series.
It's hard. I'm sure they are. I don't know why I had Viz on the mind. I've got my release is my release of the first series is Funimation. But again, so let's see here. Boom. All right, so we get a bunch of these that have come out. These retro VHS ones, and they've done these before.
Yeah,
This is not a.
they're kind of
it's
cool.
just, yeah, it's a new release set. So it's this one we have a Rutger Hauer film, Blind Fury, which is kind of a cool take on the Zatoichi series in a way, and I really liked it. I saw it a lot growing up. It's a fun movie. You'll see on my pickups a version of this film, but it is one that I have considered buying this because it's relatively cheap. It's just I had an option that gave me a little bit more bang for my buck. Still, though, if you haven't picked it up, you should. I would put this one as a yes, please for me because it is such a fun film. Such a fun old school action film. I think anybody should have the collection.
I don't have the background with this one, so there's no real nostalgia value or anything for me. But I did see this and go, well, that looks pretty fun. And I would definitely go high curious on that. And I love the way they're doing those old VHS looking.
Oh, it looks really good, and the price is right.
It's pretty fun.
It's a good price for that movie.
Right.
But y'all have to check out the pickups to get a better idea.
All right.
Boom.
And boom. So we are up to Girls und Panzer. This is the real Anzio battle. And this is an OVA. And to be honest, I can't remember. Is this included in the complete collection or was this subsequent to that?
I don't know. I feel like it's just. I think it's a new release.
It's 2014 was the actual release date, which I think is newish. But the Girls und Panzer. What's that?
I'm gonna take a look while you're talking about it. I'll go grab them and take a look.
Okay. Girls und Panzer, this is the real Anzio battle, is an OVA episode that basically this is one of those kind of girls with guns sort of genre, but it's actually girls with tanks. It's one that I've been wanting to see for a while. I have most of the pieces of the franchise. Again, I don't know about this one, but if this is the first release for this, it's worth snapping up, especially if you have the rest of it. But
Let's see.
do you have?
I'm looking at it right now.
It does have an English dub, so there's a possibility that the previous release was sub only. So because they're going back and doing that a lot.
The first volume has the complete TV series. The second one is Der Film. The third one is this is the real Anzio battle. So this is every release.
Okay.
OVA. So yeah.
So it's one of those they're re-releasing because of the English dub, probably.
Yep. So that sounds interesting. So now that you've heard that, where do you rate, sir?
Having not actually seen the franchise, I don't know if I can quite go to yes, please. But it is well rated, and I love the title. For some reason, the title has always amused me. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes, please.
All right. I'm not going to move it from there because I have it already in my collection. So, you know, it's one that...
because reasons.
Yeah, because reasons. I don't know why. It's just a bunch of girls driving a tank. That just is... it looks like a fun concept.
Right.
So...
And then we got the next one is Jonathan Scott's Power Trip, which is an interesting title, but it's apparently a documentary about solar energy. That's my understanding of this. I don't really know much about this, and again, with a lot of these documentaries, I approach them with caution when I don't know anything about the actual substance, structure, what have you of the film, because it's so easy for a documentary to be a polemic. But on this particular instance, I am all about this in this sense that even if it is a polemic and a weak film, I'm still probably going to feel like it was worth watching, and I'm probably still going to want it in the collection. The price is a little high at $23, but it is one I'll be on the lookout for. So I'm tempted to say yes, please, on this one. It's right on the line between yes, please, and curious.
Well, I can solve that problem for you by putting it into curious.
Okay, there you go. I had a feeling you would be able to do that.
See, I do you a service here.
There you go. Okay.
All right, so the 8th set in the Boruto series, I hate that they don't number them anymore on here. I'm glad Right
They
Stuff is
don't?
doing that, but you look at it and see, there's no real numbers. They haven't been numbering them.
Well, there was a number on there, but that was
There's
not
some
8. Oh, there it
there.
is. Set 8.
But you're having to look really carefully. I mean,
Yeah.
take a look on the side. There's no numbering on the side there.
None of them. That's stupid.
And that's the thing is they make it very... I guess they're just trying to say, hey, this is more than just a part of the series. This is the story. Shadow of the Curse Mark. You know,
Ooh.
I don't know much about Boruto. I saw the movie. That's it. I've seen the rest of the Naruto series. It's on my list. But to tell you how long I've been willing to wait, I just picked up, I think, volume 6. So it's been...
Well, you're 6 volumes ahead of me.
So, I mean, I'm waiting until they go on sale by Right Stuff. So, 7, of course, they didn't put on the sale. So whenever they're like $25 in that range, I tend to grab them. Or 25. I think it was $20 this time. So, you know, they'll eventually be there. I'm hoping... I have been told that the author said that this is the last of the stories he's telling. So once Boruto ends, the Naruto series finally ends, which would be great. I want to see this to the end.
Yeah.
You never know. It may go on forever, but...
This is a show that never ends.
So for me, Boruto is a yes, please, because it has to be. But it's not going to be the priority because I'm not going to be...
I don't know. I agree. This is a yes, please. I want the show. I will get to it eventually. Part of the thing that's holding me up is that I still haven't even watched Shippuden yet. And I haven't read the Boruto manga. I've read the entirety of the Naruto manga. I've seen the entirety of the first series. but I would be more excited about it once I've actually completed Shippuden, and then I'll be more into it. But by then it'll probably be pricey, and I'll regret not having done that. But
Because this is released by Viz.
yeah, we'll have to figure that out. But anyway, yeah, we'll go yes, please. So
Alright.
next up we have two. I'm just going to go ahead and lump these together.
Two
We have
second
second seasons of two shows. One's called Manifest. Looks a little bit like a Lost sort of idea, although they do return rather than getting stuck on an island. And then Legacies, my brother for a while was obsessed with the progenitors of this series. It's related to the Vampire Diaries and the originals. I've seen bits and pieces of both series. They're on my list to watch one day. I'm not in a hurry. I have that vague curiosity, and that vague curiosity extends itself to this one. In fact, if anything, with the school setting of this one, I'm more interested in this one. But I'm not going to rush out for either of these. They're both curious, but I wouldn't pick them up unless I got a really good price.
So let's see. Legacy's Curious. And where's Manifest? Manifest Curious. So, I also agree that Legacies is curious. I'm going to be giving Manifest a meh. I have very little interest in it.
Okay.
Our first meh of the day.
All right. Well, I had to have one.
Boom.
Everybody gets one.
Well, we get another one of these video cassette releases.
One
This
of
time,
these. Oh, yeah.
Crossroads. I kind of like how they have the little drama sticker in there, like it's in a rental. I mean, it plays off, of course, of the old tale of the individual who makes a deal with the devil to gain musical prowess.
That wouldn't play today.
Yeah. And of course...
Well, I guess with him being an Italian kid, maybe.
Yeah, they kind of whitewash the character.
Yeah.
But... at the same time, I used to like this a lot as a child. I thought it was good. It was a fun film. Have you seen it?
No, I have not.
I say it's not too bad. I mean, Ralph Macchio does a pretty good job in this.
Right.
It's like I say, it probably wouldn't play as well today because again, it's a kind of a whitewashing of the story. But they also kind of modernize it as well, so it's kind of a retelling of the story.
Yeah.
Much like, I guess, the Black Christmas of today, or something like that. It's just a retelling of the old story in a different light. So
Right.
it's hard to say whether I would consider it whitewashing, but it's definitely on the line.
My guess is that this hews more to the Eric Clapton take on it than the old original Robert Johnson, Tommy Johnson sort of deal, which got a much better expression in what am I trying to say, Brother Where Art Thou? But this one did cross my path very recently, though, because supposedly Ralph Macchio, largely on the strength of this film, was in strong contention to play Marty McFly on Back to the Future.
I got it mixed up. He wasn't the one that ended up making the deal with the devil. It actually did have a guy who, basically the guy who made the deal with the devil is older in this. It kind of follows him around there. And it's kind of their relationship.
So he teaches this young kid? Is that the deal? Or?
Yeah. Let me just read through this. Eugene Martone struggles with the devil and his destiny when he goes down to the crossroads in this contemporary drama. With a potent blend of adventure, romance, and music, the film takes gifted young guitarist Martone into a dangerous and challenging new world. Obsessed with unlocking the mysteries of the blues, the fledgling musician finds cantankerous Willie Brown, a master of the blues harmonica, and frees him from prison. The unlikely duo hobos from New York to Mississippi as Martone searches for fame and Brown tries to break a contract he signed years ago with the devil. En route, Martone meets and falls for sexy runaway Frances with a rich mixture of Delta blues and driving rock produced by Ray Cooder. The
Chieftains. That's cool.
Takes Martone and Brown on an intense odyssey that leads them to a dramatic climax. It has been a long time. I'm talking like at least, more than that. Probably closer to almost 30 years now. Jeez, has it been as long as that since I've seen it? So it's been a while.
Nice.
But I do remember liking the film. So I can't really give it a yes, please, but it is a... Well, I guess I would, because it's on my wish list of eventuals to get. I like it a little bit more than Curious, but it's a little bit... It's definitely a lot less than Priority.
Well, I'll bring it down to Curious, although I am very curious.
All right.
Okay. We got another one?
Yeah, this one here is not available traditionally. That's why you've got this under Screen Archives.
Not traditionally, huh?
Well, you can't get it through Amazon anyway.
Right. No, I found it on Blu-ray.com, but there's two titles getting a release from this company, right? The Screen Archives or whatever. So this one, The Man from Hong Kong, has a different title on IMDb. I can't remember what it
Dragon
is.
Files.
But, yeah. So this film features Yu Wang and a number of other folks, and George Lazenby, among other things. That's kind of cool. The Far East and the land down under are about to have a head-on collision in this action drama. Fang is an undercover detective from Hong Kong, set to Australia to crack open the operation of a Sydney mob boss named Wilton. Fang puts his skills as a hang glider pilot and martial arts master to work as he sets up Wilton for a literally explosive finale. So this looks like one of many, many films to come out in the wake of Bruce Lee, probably with the presence of former Bond, is probably intended to evoke Enter the Dragon at least a little bit. I've never seen this, but I certainly would like to.
Oh, just as a heads up, I don't know if this will make any difference in your rating, but I thought I would let you know. Because Twilight Time is the ones that's releasing this, it's going to go out of print very quickly.
Very quickly. That's not a bad price, too.
Because Twilight Time really does... I mean, Twilight Time only does limited releases, typically. They go for a lot, usually.
Well, that's good to know. So, yeah, there you go. And, that Jimmy Wang Yu is what the name I was trying to think of. They had a different listing on this. Yeah, that's his other. We watched, was it Master of the Flying Guillotine, I think, had him in it, wasn't it? Yeah. So I am definitely strongly curious about this to the point where I would almost say yes, please. If I was a bigger martial arts person, I probably would. But where are you thinking?
I'm probably curious.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I mean, if it goes out of print, it's not going to bother me because it'll be like, all right, well, that's just one I won't get.
Right. Right. Next up, we have Meiji Tokyo Renka Essentials. Now, I've talked about this one before on our pickup videos because I actually got it very cheaply. Probably I got it for a lot less than what they're currently charging on Right Stuff. When Mei is swept away to the Meiji era, her memory is fuzzy, and she's surrounded by handsome historical men. With her ability to see sought-after spirits and her heart drawn toward them, will she ever get home, or will she stay stuck in the past? So essentially, it's a time travel / reverse harem series. I am curious about it. I think it looks fun. It's not, reverse harem are not always my go-to, but they can be really good. See Fruits Basket. I picked this one up because it was dirt cheap. And again, I can never resist a chance to mock the Essentials line. But I'm going to give this one a strong curious because that's pretty much where I'm still at.
Yeah, I'm right there. I like the art style.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Boom. All right. Another one of the. It seems like my picks are almost all these retro releases.
I think there were 4 of them this week, weren't there?
Yeah, all but one of them were on my list of I want to talk about it. And then the other one I think we left behind, which was
the Dudley Moore one?
Like son, like father, like son.
I'm surprised you didn't pick that. I thought you were a big Dudley Moore fan.
I was, but I never saw the movie. I didn't even hear about it until that came up. I didn't even know it was out. So
I remember that one from it's weird the ones that you remember seeing at the movie store. Yeah. It was one of those many ones that I saw, and I always I don't really have any interest in that, but for some reason I remember it.
So I've always been a fan of The Freshman.
Mm-hmm.
It's a comedy in the vein of The Godfather. Of course, Marlon Brando and Matthew Broderick. It is, to me, it was a great and funny film. I really loved it. Of course, Marlon Brando plays his godfather yet again, as this individual goes to film school, which also is kind of cool attachment there. And ends up stumbling in upon this supposed world of crime where they capture and serve endangered animals as food to rich people. And they have a Komodo dragon with that, and there's some fun scenes where the thing gets lost in the mall and they're trying to track it down. Got some fun. I mean, this is, like I say, it's got some very fun stuff. You've got, what's his name? I want to say, is that... let's see here. Anna Miller, Frank Whaley, Andrew Bergman. It's just some fun cast of characters right there. If you get a chance to see it, you should. If I didn't have it already, it would be a yes, please, for me, because it is such a fun and funny film.
I have actually, I believe, only seen this movie once. I remember actually seeing it with my dad, and I did enjoy it. I did find it amusing and interesting. The whole... assholes doing something that environmentalists would consider them even bigger assholes for. I found that interesting. I can't remember fully what my first impressions of the film were. I just remember they were generally positive. I can't remember, honestly, if they were positive enough to warrant a yes, please. But I do want the movie. I do intend to get it eventually, and I love the look of this release. So I'm sorely tempted to snap up this release. So I'll go with yes, please, for all that.
All right.
Yeah.
Boom.
Next up, we have something that should look familiar if you've been watching our pickup videos. We have the Raid collection.
Compact.
With what?
Compact edition.
Exactly. Again, if you watch our pickup videos, I believe both of us recently got that, did we not? I know I did recently.
Yeah.
And we covered it on Inside Movies Galore. We did a discussion on the Raid. We do need to go back and do the Raid 2 because that really is its own movie in a lot of ways. And great movies. I really enjoyed them. was amazed that I seemed to get at them more than the rest of the group. I'm surprised by this because they are flat out brutal martial arts movies. They focus on the Thai art of Silat, which actually is the first time I'd ever heard of it. As he said, this is the compact edition. The edition that we had both movies in a slipcover box, but this looks like they're in one single jewel case.
That one.
Yeah, still the same cover art as the box that we have. It's a cool little set. This is a slightly slimmed down edition. I would say, having seen the films, I consider them very essential martial arts films, and I would have eventually gotten it anyway, but I had to because of the movies galore discussion. I'm going to definitely call this a yes, please.
Okay. Well, for me, I enjoyed the second film immensely. The first film I was okay with, though I felt, well, if you really want to know how I felt, you can watch the Inside Movies Galore discussion.
Right.
A lot of people say that it's an essential martial arts film. It's not that old as far as martial arts films
Not
go.
terribly.
I'm not sure. I kind of agree. I will be nice because I'm on the borderline of yes, please, and curious, and I'll bring that up to a yes, please.
Okay.
For a cheap enough price.
All right. And then it's me again, right?
Yep.
So next up we have, I'm going to try to pronounce this correctly, Satan Tango. I guess there's a lot of
Santantango.
I mean, there's a lot of accents on that. Satan Tango, whatever. Anyway, by Bela Tar, and this is a film from a few years back. I think it was like 2006 or 7 or some such thing. Number 36 on the Sight and Sound British Film Institute Critics Poll of the 100 Greatest Films Ever Made. So it's a 25th anniversary release. There you go. Based on the novel by Laszlo Krasznahorkai, apologies, follows the members of a humble agricultural community living in a bleak and punishing backwater after the fall of communism. As a few of the villagers secretly conspire to take off with all the community's annual earnings for themselves, a mysterious messiah, long thought dead, returns to the village and alters the course of everyone's lives forever. So, it sounds fun, doesn't it? But, you know me, a highly acclaimed foreign art house piece. Yeah, I would say yes, please, out of hand if it weren't for the fact that it sounds so freaking depressing. But I'll probably get it.
Let's see here.
I'll probably go with the Curious because it sounds so depressing.
Yeah, I'm curious, but that kind of movie, it's a low curious at best.
Yeah.
I mean, artsy, boring films.
Well, in this case, is Hungarian, I think.
Well, it could be a Serbian film, which, by the way, is getting a release here.
Does it say language on there? Does it give the language?
Let's see. Language is something.
Not there.
Is not there. It is subtitles in English.
Yeah.
So that's a good
That
thing.
helps.
That'll help a lot.
That helps.
So
Okay.
So this one here, now Amazon has its release as the 26th. So, dates are always subject to change. But this is called Laurel or Hardy, Early films
Uh-huh.
of Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is like a $50 edition,
Mm-hmm.
but you have a number of their films on here. I'm going to see if it has there, but they're all restored from the Library of Congress. That's one thing I got to give them, is that the Library of Congress has a lot of films backed up, which is good. We need somebody to do that.
Oh wow, these are way back in the day.
So, yeah.
15, the teens to the 20s.
Well, we got to keep in mind that they started
Yeah.
their career in the 20s, so
Right.
they've been around. They were around a long time ago. We got Bears and Bad Men. This is for Stan Laurel. The Egg. This is 1918, 1922. A Weekend Party, 1922. The Pest, 1922. When Nights Were Cold, 23. The Handyman, 23. Pick and Shovel, 23. Collars and Cuffs. Gas and Air. A Man About Town. All these are 23. The Whole Truth. And then in 1924, Brothers Under the Chin. Zeb versus Paprika. Wide Open Spaces. Detained. And 1925, Twins and Pie-Eyed. Then the Oliver Hardy films. For 1914, he started a little bit earlier. Mother's Baby Boy. A Servant Girl's Legacy. 1915, An Expensive Visit. A Lucky Strike. The New Adventures of J. Rufus Wallingfold. The Lilac Splash. That sounds entertaining. The Serenades, 1916. Hungry Hearts. The Candy Trail. 1917, The Chief Cook. 1918, Hello Trouble. Married to Order. He's In Again. 21, The Rent Collector. The Bakery. The Show of 1922. Rivals in 1925. Wandering Papas, 1926. And Say It With Babies in 1926. Now, one film I do have from them is an early short film where both of them were in it together, but not as a duo, which was kind of cool to have. They just happened to be in it together, and I think it was the film that sparked their eventual team up. Both are amazing comedians in their own right, and just in general, I really would love to see this stuff. I really want this. I don't want to pay $50 because I don't have $50, but I would put this on my wish list, and it is a yes please for me.
I will go the same. That is a yes, please. And incidentally, the other film was Hungarian. That's what I was trying to figure out.
There you go.
The language. Yeah.
Well, English subtitles definitely help there then.
Right. So next up we have Stretch, which features Patrick Wilson, Ed Helms, James Badge Dale, Brooklyn Decker, and Jessica Alba. From Joe Carnahan, the director of Narc, Smoking Aces, etc., etc. A Hollywood limo driver with a dark past. When Stretch is in need of some quick cash to pay back his debts to a notorious gangster, he takes a job with a billionaire client in hopes of a big payday. His client's eccentricities soon escalate into a wild night of adventure, sex, and danger, which begins to make the fate of returning to the mob empty-handed seem reasonable. Also features Chris Pine, Ray Liotta, Randy Couture, and David Hasselhoff. Oh, or I gotta say it right. TV legend David Hasselhoff. Exactly. I honestly have a modest interest in this. I still need to see Smoking Aces. I wanted to so bad and just never got to it.
You never got both of them.
No. But I do want to see this, but it's not a high priority. I'll give it a moderate curious.
Yeah, that's more on a curious end. I don't know enough about it to go any higher.
And next up, what's up?
I was going to say, yeah.
Next up, we have Sudden Fear, a Cohen Media release, if I'm not mistaken. And I think this one had a brief release on Blu-ray, but now it's getting a DVD release.
Yeah, that's the Blu-ray edition. The DVD I don't have the cover for here, but I think I do have it on here. Yep, right there. It looks pretty much identical to the Blu-ray release. So for the purposes of it, I'll throw that on.
And as we've said before, Cohen Media does put out some pretty freaking awesome stuff. They put out some rare stuff, but they tend to put them out in very limited print, and it's very hard to find them in the wild typically. But this one is an old Oscar-nominated film featuring Joan Crawford, Jack Palance, and other people, Gloria Graham, Virginia Houston. The cast and the Oscar nods alone make this an essential for me. Apparently, they said that I see one reviewer here that said that Kino had released it but done a poorer job of the release. So this is apparently the first time it's gotten supposedly a good release. But whatever the case, it's a film that I need to see eventually. I need to get eventually. With its Oscar history, it is automatically a yes, please. But again, with that cast, I would already be high curious.
Well, as you know, nomination does not always make it a yes, please for me. But it is a very high curious.
Okay.
All right. So, speaking of something that is at least a high curious for you, probably higher, is the Lupin III the First. This is the Steelbook edition, but the regular edition is also releasing.
Now, is that headline promises the first Steelbook?
I don't know. It's the first time I've seen it on Steelbook. So... let's see. When the elusive Lupin III, grandson of the famous French thief, learns of a archaeologist finding a rumored treasure to a lost civilization, he decides to snatch the sought-after diary and claim the lost treasure for himself and to redeem his grandfather's name, who allegedly was not as able to solve the diary. So it kind of calls back to the French originator of the series, which is the concept of Lupin is the grandson of the French Lupin, which is the original iteration of that story. Technically, Lupin was originally written by French people, but the Japanese adapted it and made it their own. And I am an avid collector of Lupin. And this is no different. And matter of fact, that's the edition that I have, I will have. And that's a priority for me. Not only that, but it's the first time Lupin has been computer animated. And from what I've heard from people who have seen the film, it's spectacular, and the animation is at Pixar level. So
nice.
It's a very well done from what I've heard. I don't know for sure because I haven't seen it, but I want to. Bad.
That is something we have not yet seen from a Japanese studio, is that level of 3D animation, or at least that I have not yet seen. I am very, very, very curious about this. I do not pre-order the Lupin stuff typically, so I cannot claim priority. But I definitely will give this a high yes, please, especially the Steelbook version.
So, I like the yellow of that, too. That's kind of cool.
Right.
All right.
So, next up, we have a 2-movie collection, Zombieland and Zombieland Double Tap. Now, I still need to get Zombieland Double Tap. I thought I'd be able to buy it cheap on Black Friday, and for whatever reason, I couldn't. But I already have the original. I still have not seen Double Tap, but from what I've heard, it's a worthy-ish successor. But the first Zombieland is freaking classic. It is a phenomenally great film. I don't even like zombie films as a rule, but I love that one. And I very much want both of these films to be in my collection. It's tempting, if only because it would save space. And if you don't have it, it's a good way to get a space-saving edition. I'm definitely, since I own one, since I love it, since I'm going to get the other one, it is definitely a yes, please.
I can leave it at yes, please, because the first one is definitely an essential. I do own both because I did get the second one cheap. I just haven't seen the second one yet. But I'm sure it would be, I mean, if I didn't have either one of these, or if they were on, like, or if I just had one on DVD, I would probably be more inclined to grab it. So yeah, I would say that. All right.
Okay.
Last one.
And for the last one, we have Minding the Gap, a film by Bing Liu. This is I keep forgetting what the platform was. If it was Amazon or Hulu. I think it was Hulu.
I think it was Hulu.
But this was, okay, so this was a documentary by a young individual named Bing Liu who basically documented himself and his friends growing up, if you will. And it was an Oscar-nominated film. I personally was not blown away by it. I found it to be a very decent movie. It was worth a watch, and I found that it was an intriguing first. I think it's the first film from this particular filmmaker. For various reasons, I will have to give this a priority. I will not be pre-ordering it, but I will make sure to pick it up on the next Criterion sale. One, I do think this is the first and likely to be the only physical release this gets. So Criterion has been doing a lot of streaming releases. I want to support budding filmmakers and especially Asian filmmakers because they don't get much support, and it is an Oscar nominee. So it is a priority for me to get this. I'm just no way I'm paying full price for it.
So even with the definition of priority being expanded to allow for, you can wait if if you're pretty sure it's not going to go out of print in the meantime. I feel this was good enough that I would want to make it a yes please, but not enough for me to make it a priority.
Right.
I can't guarantee I would get it the next one. The only priority one that I have on my sights on if they release it is going to be American Factory, which would be definitely picked up because that's the last one I need to collect all the Oscars up until recent. So
there's a number of them that if they announce their release, I would definitely be all about it. But it's American Factory high on that list.
It would be like, okay, next sale, since I usually get one, that's the one. All right. So,
all right.
I'm ending us out with The Twilight Zone Season 2, which it looks like it's only a DVD release. Even though
really?
I think that there must be a Blu-ray release somewhere, but the only one I can find on Amazon is DVD. And this is the Jordan Peele series. I haven't seen any of it yet, but I want to. I guess I'm just holding out for the series to end and then give me a full series release.
Yeah.
It looks fun, looks good. I still need there's another Twilight Zone series that wasn't in the big set I have. I want to say it's the 90s one. And
I think so.
If I got that one and this one, yeah, I can have the whole thing. And so I guess I'm just waiting. But it is a high priority. It's a high priority for me, but not quite a priority. I would say a yes please for me.
I could go with that.
All right.
I'm definitely very curious about it. Yeah.
So with that
All right.
being said, we have this is our thing. It looks interesting. A lot of almost as many yes pleases as curious as this time.
Almost.
Only one meh. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you did not put a single one in hell no. This
No,
time.
we kind of skipped most of those kind of movies.
Yeah, so we had a couple of things like Devilman's already been talked about before and pushed back.
Right.
Blood Sisters we talked about, which
Yeah.
been pushed back.
Yeah.
Your opera.
Yeah.
The various things, but some fun stuff nevertheless.
Yeah.
If you want some of this stuff, you should check it out. Blu-ray.com has some. And of course, if it's on DVD, you should locate on other things. But I just thought I would give you all a quick look at this is what's left. I am surprised you didn't go for Thursday, because that looked very artsy.
It was tempting.
And Monsoon.
Well, you remember how long the list I gave you was. I was trying to keep it short, and it was still pretty long.
So yeah.
But, yeah.
But in any case, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you did, of course, click that like button, hit subscribe, and share. But we'll see you, fellow viewers. I don't know why I'm pointing, because it's the camera's on this. On the next one. Goodbye.
All right. Bye.